Well, good evening, and yes, you guys could see we have the handsome Mr. Fazal Yussuff in our studio tonight. He is representing the Guyana Consulate in New York. So, good evening to you, Mr. Fazal. How are you doing tonight?
Good afternoon, Shanaz. It's my honor and pleasure to be here on your show.
And I know there's a lot of things going on right now, but I must say congratulations to you on the Guyana Consulate. This is something new for you.
Yes, so actually this is a new position that the president who promised in his campaigning that he would do for the diaspora, and he followed through with his promise to make sure that the diaspora is represented. And that is the main reason why this position was created, for me to represent not only people here in New York but anywhere in the U.S., so that you can be heard, your concerns can be addressed, and that to let the diaspora know that they are an important part of the development of Guyana.
Indeed. Let's go give them a little bit of background about yourself, because I've interviewed you before, and I know you represent our community a long time ago, and that this is nothing new for you. So, you know, they selected a candidate that knows our community and is well fit. I believe you come from a department of...
Well, I know where you're getting with that part there. So, yes, I came from private sector and in private healthcare for most of my career, and most recently as the Assistant Commissioner for New York City Department of Correction, the Health Affairs Division, and then after that, here I am in my new role as the advisor to the Guyana Consulate on business development, investments, and the diaspora affairs.
Well, I believe they choose you because you've been so involved in our community, you know, at the parades and everything else. That Queens is our melting pot where everybody comes here. And I want to say something. I have a picture I wanted to share with you guys of Little Guyana. I'm sure everyone see the sign, the co-naming of
Yes.
Leffords and Liberty Avenue.
So yes, that's happening. I guess it's on May 29th. It's a big day here in New York, and especially in the Richmond Hill area, where we have a very large Guyanese population living, and this is a long, deserving thing that's being done to recognize the folks who live in this community. And I must say, Councilwoman Adrian Adams and Richard David, who were the ones, along with the Desi Society and other folks, who spearheaded this initiative to make it a reality, so that, yes, Guyana can be on the map here in Richmond Hill.
That's right. The Guyana Consulate in New York had launched its investment and diaspora initiative. Tell us a little bit more about this and what it means. And I see on the flyer also said jobs, you know, and everyone is looking into that.
Yes. So, as I said previously, this is a very relatively new position here in New York. And when I assumed this position in early February of this year, my job and my responsibility is to make sure that I represent the diaspora here. So there are two aspects of it, one being the investment part of it, and the other being the diaspora general concerns, etc. So from an investment perspective, we know with Guyana's newfound wealth of oil, there is a lot of attention that currently is being put on Guyana in terms of not only locally but internationally. Investors want to go in there now to be part of the development. And His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali and Dr. Barrett Jagdeo, the Vice President, wants to encourage not only local investors but individual investors from internationally. So anyone looking to go into Guyana to invest, my office will be playing a very integral role. I want to make sure that we give the attention and the time to prospective investors who want to go into Guyana to look at it real and get to them information that is necessary for them to make that transition in their investments into Guyana, whether it's looking at what is available out there and looking and see how best we can make sure that they
and work together, building a better
and that was actually a missing point or missing link previously. So I think with my role and my office here in New York through the Guyana Consulate, I think that will facilitate a smooth transition for folks wanting to go into Guyana to invest. And
the opportunity is there, so we are like the highlight and we're the spotlight right now for the world, so everybody want to come in right now.
Sure. And I encourage people to don't be shy. There are a lot of misconceptions and misinformation out there about Guyana, but you have to be there and you have to be part of it to know that it's real. If you look at Guyana now, and probably for many folks looking at from several years from now, it will be a different Guyana. And you could see the commitment from our president, our vice president, our foreign affairs, you, Todd, from
I'm thinking of Guyana and I'm thinking of the new Dubai,
I think a lot of folks have different vision of what Guyana will be like, and I'm hoping that it's a place that we will all be we're all very proud of Guyana right now, but we be much prouder of Guyana in a few weeks. In fact, 2 weeks from now, on May 22nd, there is going to be the first virtual diaspora conference that will be held, and this is being put together by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is heading up this diaspora conference, and I encourage everyone to please join us on that day. It's going to be a packed agenda schedule. We will have His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali, Dr. Barra Jagdeo, Todd, the Foreign Minister, Foreign Secretary Robert Persaud, and many more senior government officials that will be on that conference. So I encourage people to join us. This is the opportunity that you will have to ask questions, get answers, and to hear about the good things and the opportunities that are going on in Guyana.
Okay. Should I play that voiceover for them to hear?
Yes, please do.
Affairs and International Cooperation presents the inaugural Virtual Diaspora Conference 2021 under the theme A New Era of Engagement for the Guyanese Diaspora on Saturday, May 22nd, 2021 from 9 a.m. Join the discussions and have your say on the important role of the diaspora in Guyana's economic transformation. Get registered at www.minfra.gov.gy/Virtual Diaspora Conference 2021 registration. For more information, like and follow us on Facebook at MFA Guyana. Remember, this is your opportunity to have your say.
AW Lyrical, good evening to you. Hey, Bansi Persaud, you guys are doing? Good evening, and Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you. The beautiful Ginny Persaud, good evening to you. Thank you very much. Ginny is my right hand sometime, and she is so involved in our community that she brings people together and she gets so much done. So good evening to you, and thank you guys for sharing the link. Shanaz Musical Sensation on a beautiful Thursday night. Yes, we're speaking with the Guyana diaspora, Mr. Fazal Yussuff, the Guyana Consulate in New York. So tell us a little bit more about the Guyana Consulate. As I was mentioning earlier to you, I'm always invited, and a lot of times I'm there for all the events. So tell us, what do we expect? I mean, the office is still there. It's going to be open pretty soon.
Yes, so basically we're close to because of the pandemic, and we all are aware of that. But the office is still conducting businesses for individuals for their routine stuff that need to get done, whether it's passport renewals, birth certificates, whatever can be done. You can still go into the consulate, especially by appointments. But if most of these transactions can be done via online, and that's the good thing right now. We've seen a lot of efficiencies in doing those things.
Yeah, it saves you time and traffic. Correct. I mean, during this time, who wants to travel when you could get online and get all the documentation submitted, and it's so easily submitting documents right now to any official, any guy in the consulate.
Right. And we're proud of the consulate right now. They're doing an excellent job dealing with this pandemic. But I would just want to get back to the conference that's coming up on the 22nd, Shanaz, if you don't mind. So for those of you who want to join the conference, go to the Guyana Consulate website. You will see exactly on the website there the link to register. It's there. Just register early. We only have slots for about 1,000 people. It's filling up very, very quickly.
That's a virtual event?
That's the virtual event on May 22nd, 2021. So please do. And I think it will be something that everyone who join will enjoy and will be very informative. There will be breakout sessions where we will have that will be dealing with investments, that will be dealing with security, migration back to Guyana, which is something a lot of us.
And the government of Guyana is actually encouraging everyone, to return, the residents, to invest in Guyana. This is first preference as resident and citizen of Guyana to go back to your homeland and invest.
Sure, yes. And that conference will give you a lot of good information. And there are so many questions that people have that they sometimes don't get answers for it. And if on that conference that you don't get your question answered at that set time, they will get back with a personal email sent to you with the answer to your question. So I don't want anyone to get away with the idea that it's 1,000 people that's going to be on
hard
this.
To get to. Well, somebody's going to be taking notes and writing all these questions down and answer appropriately.
Yes.
I must say, one of our celebrity is locked on, a very good supporter and friend of Shanaz Musical Sensation. He goes by the name of Dema Watchman. That is no other than Mr. Mahendra Ramkilawan, who said Joe is the best man for the job.
Thank you, Mahendra. Always a pleasure to hear from you, my friend.
Tom Singh, good evening to you, and all the wonderful folks in Toronto. Good evening, good evening. I want you guys to share the link so everyone in New York could know Mr. Joe and reach out to him if they need help. Mr. Hirlal Kishore in Toronto, good evening to you. Mr. Farouk, the mixer, how you guys are doing? Good evening. Nina Chudalal, Mahendra, how you doing? Good evening. The beautiful Ginny. And Mr. Joe, how you doing? Good evening to you. Not forgetting John from Queens. Good evening, good evening. And Nirmati Dot, Eid Mubarak to you and your beautiful family indeed. If you're celebrating Eid Mubarak to you. I know Joe have a lot of questions and a lot of concerns and a lot of information he wants to share with you guys, so feel free to go ahead.
I'm open to any questions that anyone may have for the next few minutes or so, and hope I can answer it for you.
John from Queens always seems to have a lot of questions, and I know, so John, go ahead. Big up to Mr. Ashok Ramsaram, ICF in the building. Good evening to each and every one of you. Thank you for sharing the link. And I know John from Queens is always sharing. So guys, he is open for questions. Feel free to comment. And what are some of the things that you expect to get started and make different in this new role?
So first of all, Shanaz, what I want to tell everyone, my number and my contact information is on the Guyana website. If you go there and you click on Guyana Consulate, you will get all the information if you need to speak to me directly regarding any kind of business investment that you want to go to Guyana. And the good thing is, you do not have to come into the consulate. I am going to come to you.
That is really good news. And I must say, God, when I ask for something, some people say God delivers. God always comes when I ask for something, because talking about, opening a dialysis center in Guyana and all the plans we have, look how easy God has made it. Just linked up with Mr. Joe and we could get things done. When you think of improvement and progress, as long as you're thinking alike, you always progress, and I always get the light. So thank you, Ginny, and all my wonderful friends for the support and love. And I know with Mr. Joe on my side, I could get this dialysis in Guyana off the ground. So thank you very much for making things happen, Mr. Tom Singh. If you guys would like to invest and know more about what's going on in Guyana, in New York diaspora, please reach out to Mr. Joe. Thank you very much, Mr. Rishi Rambali, Shalini Khan, Rudolph Kisoon. Good evening to you. Any questions? He is here to answer them. Whether you're in Canada, Suriname, we all have questions that relate to Guyana and the progress that we're making. But what I have to say is that I wanted to do a special interview on Guyana and our Guyanese folks, because a lot of folks write to me saying that, they stood strong with our president and election, and they are still waiting for house lots and they're still looking for help. But, what are you thinking along that line?
Shanaz, if you look within the past 8 months since
the progress
10 months that the current government got into power, it's surreal.
It is.
With this expediency in which things are being done. If you look at the number of new house lots that are being given out on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, Colin Crowell, who's the Minister of Housing. Colin is all over the place in Guyana, meeting with the people, making sure that folks who are applying for house lots, their applications are being processed expediently, and so that you may not be able to satisfy everyone, but for the majority of instances, things are happening.
It is, and I see the roads are so much better. It's improving. So, progress is there. And if you guys know of an area that might need improvement or housing, reach out. I'm sure you could get the word down there. There's so much of folks on the ground working right now when it comes to our president and his team, that I've never seen a team out there working as hard.
And you hit it right on the head, Shanaz. Dr. Ali, the president of Guyana, he is hands-on, and I'm sure many of you who watch the news on a daily basis, he's out there. He's not a behind-the-desk type person. The same goes for
the First Lady.
First Lady.
Big up to all our beautiful women out there, and she is day in, day out. She is doing a lot of work for the First Lady. I've never seen, other than pictures with other First Lady doing stuff, but she is there, groundbreaking events.
Sure.
Launching stuff, and she's making a lot of difference. Seema Persaud said it is an exciting time for the diaspora. Looking forward for the conference on the 22nd. Thank you. So guys, share the link, share the love. It is an exciting time. A lot of new things are happening. Let's get back with investment, because I have friends in Jamaica and Philippines, and they always talk about, when the country is doing good, a lot of folks might want to invest, but you have to be careful with who you're allowed to invest in, because certain countries are investing in Jamaica right now, and they have all control. They want to take control of everything when it comes to business and the hospitals. They're building bridges. So what's your take on that?
So I am going to say to any investor, if you want to invest, don't be shy. There are opportunities in Guyana, as I said before. We have the president, our vice president, Dr. Barjagdio, all of the entire cabinet in Guyana. They are behind any kind of investment, whether it's agro products you want to invest in, fashion, whatever it is. Seema just actually got in, and I've been working with Seema because she wants to go back and open one of a restaurant called a local restaurant.
I know our designer. I have her card. You guys have seen her. I model her clothing so often, and she made a fantastic line. I'm of the sorry, and we're hoping to go back to Guyana to launch her campaign and launch her clothing line.
And that's where my job comes in, Shanaz, to help facilitate your going back to Guyana to make sure your launching is a smooth takeoff.
Wow.
And even with your venture that you're talking about, to going back to Guyana and opening a dialysis center, and before this interview started, you had no idea that you could have gotten the help here in New York. I just thought of
it today, and I'm saying I have to get my ticket. I have equipment going down to Guyana that costs thousands of dollars. These dialysis machines are expensive, and I have to be there to receive all of them. So I have to facilitate that. So I'm so glad. God always. They say God delivered, but He comes for me. He delivered Himself. So thank you.
So there you go. You're benefiting already from my office in terms of facilitating you going to Guyana and open a dialysis center, which is, I'm sure, it's your dream of giving back to Guyana. So we need
and a woman's shelter,
which is very admirable of you, Shanaz. And we need many, many more like you, not only in investment, but giving back to Guyana.
Well, now that you are here to bridge that gap within, your offices there, we can have so many more things happening, so many more new ventures coming apart. And all the shows, like if we want to do something to facilitate building something in Guyana, I have all the artists ready to go back and lend their voice, lend their talent to homeland Guyana. We want to make things easier. And what I really want to ask of you is, when it comes to donation and wheelchairs, that's where I need this gap. That we have to. A lot of people want to do stuff with organizations.
Sure.
and they're asking, why do I have to pay VAT on a donation that I'm bringing these things for free? I just shipped 3 pallets to Guyana. I didn't post it up on the social media, but you know, the shipping company, I pay them, and somebody asked me, why are you paying all of this VAT in Guyana for donations? So that is something I would love to look at.
On a sidebar, Shanaz, I think that is something my office can work with you with. The First Lady has a very charitable organization in Guyana, and I encourage people to
continue doing their
continuing with her and to hook up with her organization. And some of the hiccups in that you may encounter when you send this stuff together, I'm pretty sure it can be addressed. And again, that's where my office comes in very handy to facilitate that conversation and that communication to make sure that things are being addressed for the diaspora. And those are the things that where the diaspora can be very, very helpful in investing in Guyana. Not only in investment in terms of a monetary way, but the charitable stuff that you're talking about.
That will be a lot of help, because as we all know, Guyana is in need of medical supplies, and I'll be sending, I have 4 hospital beds going down. I'm from Skeldon, so I'm looking to donate it to Skeldon Hospital, you know, and laboratory equipment and all these kind of things. And I really am looking to contribute to Homeland Guyana, and I would encourage you guys, if you would like to do the same, reach out to Mr. Joe. He will help that transition happen. My beautiful cousin in Toronto, Amina Baksh, Eid Mubarak to you, and my beautiful nieces and nephew, my handsome cousin Parvati Prabhu, good evening to you, and Seema Persaud. I want those questions coming, guys. Please feel free to ask Joe any questions you have. His office is in Manhattan. It is the Guyana Consulate in New York, and I've been to that office so many times, and I feel so honored that, you know, they invite the general public and the media there, especially when they're doing cultural stuff. They're always having cultural show, and their office used to be open once on a Saturday, I believe.
Yes.
Once per month on a Saturday, just to accommodate all of you folks. So guys, you are talking with Mr. Joe, and yes, he is representing the Guyana Consulate in Manhattan, New York, I must say. Here he is, the Guyana Consulate in New York, Mr. Fazal Yussuff. Everyone in Queens knows him as Joe. You know, that's his nickname, Joe, and he came from a very solid background of culture and community work, so he knows exactly what we need and how to go out bridging that gap when it comes to Homeland Guyana. So good evening to Sally Asgar. How you guys are doing? I know we have Mr. Japnet Singh outside, so thank you guys for tuning into Shanaz Musical Sensation. Auntie Nalini Naidu, good night to you. Thank you guys for tuning into Shanaz, and share the link, share the love. I know I can't share as much right now. Navin, big up to you, the famous John from Queens. I would leave Mr. Joe to continue talking about all the plans he have in store and what he's looking forward to, because this is a new position open for you.
Yes, Shanaz, and I know time is limited right now, but I would
you
surely...
You are very busy. I'm sure you're quite late for another meeting that you have.
But in closing, I want to reinforce with everyone, please do join us on the 22nd of this month. Go on the Guyana website, consulate website. You will see the link there to register.
Jeannie Persaud, please attach the link so all our viewers could click on it and register. And maybe we'll have some footage to air right here on Shanaz Musical Sensation to see how it's going. And this would be a lot of information.
Yes.
You know, a lot of information.
And that will only be one of many virtual conferences that will take place. There will be many, many more to come. This is the first. And as I said before, I was even when our vice president wished all our Muslim brothers and sisters Eid Mubarak yesterday. If you notice in his announcement, he included the diaspora specifically. And that's a very big move for Guyana, for our politicians, for our leaders to start recognizing the not to say they have not done that in the past, but shedding so much more attention in the diaspora, and that is something that we all should be proud of our current government. And I want to assure all your listeners and everyone out there that we will follow through with our commitment to make sure we serve you and provide the best services. And as I said before, you don't have to come to my office. I am a hands-on person, just like our president and the cabinet in Guyana and the vice president, to go out in the community and to meet you and to make sure that we give you what information or service that you do need, and to make sure that you're successful in whatever you want to do. But then again, you know, COVID-19 prevents a lot of interactions, but
a lot of good things are happening too behind the scenes.
Yes, but please do join us on the 22nd. I encourage everyone to have limited slots, and I just want to say, Shanaz, it is my honor and pleasure to be here on your show.
Thank
and
you.
I thank you so very much.
Thank you. Joe is not a stranger. I've interviewed him before, because when I see him representing our corrections department, head of corrections, I was so impressed, and that was a fantastic job. John from Queens have a question. He said, do you know Lloyd Kumar, I guess? Lloyd Kumar or Kunal?
No.
John from Queens, Guyana is really big, I'm not sure. Sally Asgar, good evening to you guys. We're going to be replaying some of our Mother's Day clips, so share the link, share the love. I think our IT guy is outside. Handsome Jesh, good night. Deborah Watson. Oh, Deborah Watson already registered.
Oh, great. And Deborah, please share the word around. Share the link to all your folks, all your friends. Blast it on Facebook. This is the diaspora opportunity to get involved and to get involved in Guyana. May 22nd, a big day, big launching for our first virtual conference, to make sure that you can talk, listen, and hear what our president, our vice president, and everyone is actually saying to you.
Wow, I will definitely be on that Zoom, and I see the beautiful Ginny Persaud already attached that link. So guys, please go there and register. Thank you, Mr. Joe, for stopping by. You're always welcome. A lot of big things will be happening from this office, because he want to bring it to you guys when it comes to media, keep you informed. And if this is the way, his office is always welcome right here on Shanaz Musical Sensation, sharing all his wonderful message and newcomers, on what's going on.
And Shanaz, I'll make a promise to you, I will come back on your show right after that conference to take any questions that your audience and viewers may have, so that we could address them personally.
Thank you. See, that's a really good word. So guys, thank you guys for tuning into Shanaz Musical Sensation. You're watching Shanaz Musical Sensation on the famous John from Queens YouTube channel. Continue supporting our #1 YouTuber, John from Queens. I'm yours truly, Shanaz Hussain.